All right, let's take a minute and get into some of the longer postings on the discussion board. Rita, and they were all great. You guys are doing a great job. Every one of you posted questions, answers. You're doing great, and I admire you so much for doing it. Rita wrote, in terms of the river, Robert seems to be an inherently unhappy person, full to the brim with an unspecified rage, one that you can't outright see. He uses the river to release some of those feelings of tension. It can also be said that he and the river are the same in the sense that underneath their surface lies turmoil. I think that Robert's highest priority was hang on to the skull. He didn't want anyone to die, but he definitely wants the river to return to the quiet, solitary place. And then Rita sort of speculates that maybe he wants the police to come, the authorities, and run everybody else off. I'm not sure he's thinking that far ahead, but I like the thinking. And I do like your last remark here, Rita. If it were, I can only see his defiance being beneficial to his own selfishness. Now, I have to say that's true. And in general, his defiance, the only person who I feel bad for is his mother, in case something happens to him. And again, we're getting into, did his defiance of club rules lead to the Slav's death? Well, you've got to decide that for yourself. I don't know. I really don't think so. But yeah, it is a selfish act that he does, but it really shouldn't be. It shouldn't be hurting anyone. I want to get back to this one point here, though, about him releasing his release some of his feelings of tension. I think Tim Parks does a really good job describing how Robert feels when he's on the river. Riding this wave forced him into a fury of concentration. After his dull hours at the office, Robert had the exhilarating sensation of being right at the heart of life, in the secret pulse of the river, yet at the same time wonderfully static and in control. It's almost like a Zen thing that he gets into here. And this is something I've learned a little bit about over the years through reading and experience. When you get into a difficult situation or something that requires a lot of concentration, basketball players call it being in the zone or the flow. The great basketball player Michael Jordan said if he was having a great game, he said he was unconscious. And I think that's what happens to Robert here in a good way. He's conscious, but he's so focused on what he's doing in the moment. He is in this moment. He can't think about work, Stella, his mother, nothing else, his father who he's lost, the outright social and industrial decay around him. He can't think about that when he is in those waves. And I hope all of you have some moment like that. Actually, believe it or not, it's for me being in class. When I'm up in front of the classroom, admittedly, sometimes I'm thinking about other things, but oftentimes I'm in the zone. I'm watching you guys. If I see you fading out, I try to perk things up a little bit, move around. I'm not even really thinking about it. As I said before, I know nothing whatsoever about teaching. I have no technique. I've never been taught to teach. But when I'm in the class, I'm in the zone. And that is honestly one of the things I really miss about you. So I'm sort of outside, kind of in the zone right now, imagining you all in the room. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Hi, Nicole. Good to see you both. Will, Summer, Allie, Rita, hello. Emma, how are you? Good? All right. Hi, Kat. Caitlin, good to see you also. Did I say hi to Chris? Chris, I'll say hi to you again. You're awesome. So I miss you guys, and I miss being in the zone in the classroom. All right, trying to get back in the zone here. So yes, thank you, Rita. Excellent. Now, Emma says, I agree with Rita, but I also disagree in the aspect that he was so desperate to grab the skull to bring it to the police. Maybe he does care about humanity, but only that people who don't turn his town into a bleep hole for drunk bleepers. Well put, Emma. Yeah. He doesn't follow the rules himself. He follows his own rules. But he does not like unruly vitality that comes up in here. He does not care for the Slavs drinking and fishing and running around and trying to save him. He thinks that you need to live by your own code. Forget the club rules. What are, well, Robert's rules? That's kind of funny. Professor Berninger's rules, well, those you have to live by. But you live by your own rules. You live by your own rules. And these people that he sees on the river, he doesn't see them doing that, and he judges them for it. And it's an interesting line in the story. Without wanting to be racist, he didn't think much of the gypsies and others from Eastern Europe. Well, racist is racist, right? But again, he's not doing anything to hurt them. He's not doing anything to hurt them. Kat had a good one here. Defiance can be beneficial depending upon the cause. What makes it bad or good really depends on your moral compass. In this situation, I would have to disagree and say that this was not a beneficial defiance of rules, because someone broke the rules. It could have cost 3 people their lives instead of just 1. They were trying to save them. Breaking the rule kayaking alone benefited no one. And I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. But think about, for a minute, you know, what rules do you choose to break that benefit you and generally don't cause a problem? Well, speeding. It's a very rare driver who doesn't speed every time he or she gets in a car. That's probably akin to what he's doing by kayaking alone, only maybe worse. You break the club rules, you're speeding. Speeding kills tens of thousands of people every year. Law enforcement has to sit around trying to catch us speeding when it could be saving some person from being killed or raped or robbed. Instead, they're sitting there with radar stopping us because we're going 37 and a 30. That's a defiance of club rules, and almost every one of us does it. Well, I'd like to give myself a big, well, duh. Right now, we're living the greatest example of in defiance of club rules. The club of us in New York State, in America, in the world, the club of us need to follow the rules of staying home. Yeah, some places you can get a fine, you can get yelled at by the police, but most places, no, you can still go out and break the rules. And the rule is stay home so you don't infect and kill other people. If I'm a very healthy 50-year-old with a good immune system, I rarely get sick, yeah, I can go out. I don't know, maybe I'll catch it, pass it to people. The coronavirus, obviously, I'm talking about here. Catch it, pass it on to others. No, stay home. Unless you're an essential worker, stay home. You can see absolutely no one's around me here. So I'm not home, but nobody's around me. But this is the perfect example. That's a club rule. Would Robert follow that rule? Well, he doesn't like people anyway, so I think he would, because he doesn't want to endanger other people. He only breaks a rule here that theoretically should only endanger himself. So it's a good story. A couple other things that I just want to highlight. The story is set in England, and we know that. It's in the author's little biography, and there's a guy with kind of a flipper instead of an arm. And in England, this happened a little in America. There was a time in the 50s and 60s when women took thalidomide to prevent morning sickness while pregnant, and a lot of babies were born with partial limbs, and some flippers instead of arms and legs. And there are still a lot of people around like that in England. Some in America, but the drug wasn't used here as widely. And also, I just want to mention again, the backdrop is really the decay of industrialization. A promise that industrialization would help everyone, and here it is on the river. And by the way, behind me is a decaying dam. Right where I'm sitting was a giant mill 100 years ago that employed hundreds of people, so I did come to a place of decaying industrialism to talk about this story with you. So that flows through the story, and again, it's just kind of an idea of getting the reader to think about the rules that we follow, the rules we defy. Think about this as you go through your day, through your week. Are you following the club rules? Does eating healthy count? not smoking, driving carefully, not texting and driving. A lot of this in my mind still has to do with driving because that's when we're with each other and we tend to break a lot of little rules. So think about the rules that you choose to follow, the rules that you choose to defy, and which are harmful to you. Why do you choose some over others? So it's a good little story, a pretty easy read. Robert's an interesting character. He has his good qualities, he has his bad qualities, just like all of us. But I think he's got a good relationship with Stella. 10 years. She calls him a hero. I don't really think he's a hero, but she calls him a hero. They've got a good thing going. He's pretty good to his mom, even though she doesn't want him out on that river. He has to do what he has to do to take care of himself. So, just a couple more things here to wrap up today. Let me know what's working for you. Let me know if you guys want to try to do a Zoom. I figured out how to do a Zoom meeting to try to keep some meetings and the work of the college going. I've been doing some Zoom meetings. Pretty much how Zoom works is you download the Zoom app, which is very, very easy to do. And then I send out an email with an invitation and a code. And at a certain time, the email says the time, we all show up in a Zoom room and we can all see each other. So if you'd like to try a Zoom, send me an email that says, hey, let's Zoom, Mr. Berninger. And if enough of you want to do it, we'll try it. Now, if you don't Zoom or you have bad internet, that's fine. I'm not going to require that. And odds are we're going to have some technical difficulty. But if you want to have a Zoom talk, even just to hang out and talk, that would make me very happy. So if others of you are interested in shooting for a Zoom, drop me an email and say, hey, let's Zoom. Otherwise, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're finding a rhythm. I'm trying to find a rhythm. I get up in the morning, I grade papers, work on emails, try to make a list for the day. I try to exercise for an hour in the morning for mental and physical health. Shooting videos, 1 class a day. I'm trying to take care of a class a day because these do take more time than the length of the video, editing, and plenty of bloopers. I'm working on another blooper reel. And I hope it's going well for you guys. I wish I could hang out with you in person, but if you made it through, 8 weeks with us in person and you're watching the videos, you're writing your papers, everybody did the Ichabod Crane paper. Thank you. Everybody did a good job. We're going to get through this and we're going to get you your credits. We're going to get you to learn some stuff and we're going to make it this summer and we're going to make it through COVID-19, hopefully alive and well. Take care, guys. Miss you.